Today we're counting down the 12 household hazards we grew up with, once common features and products that would never make it past modern safety standards. From cracking paints and textured ceilings to toys and gadgets lurking in plain sight, each entry reveals how yesterday's little comforts turned out to be tomorrow's cautionary tales. What would seem outrageous now was just another sound, smell, or ritual in homes across North America and Europe from the 1950s onward. Which familiar staple tops this list? And which banned relic did you forget about? Get ready to relive and reconsider these shared memories as we start our countdown with number 1. Number 1. DDT household pesticide arrived in metal spray cans, and for some, as thick clouds from neighborhood fogging trucks. Families kept these cans under the kitchen sink, spraying cracks and corners to keep bugs at bay. After World War II, DDT was celebrated as a medical miracle, credited with wiping out disease-carrying insects and making homes feel safer than ever. The sharp, lingering scent of DDT often meant summer cleaning or a fresh start after a rainy day. But as the years passed, scientists and writers like Rachel Carson began to link DDT to vanishing bird life and hidden health risks. In 1972, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency canceled nearly all household and agricultural uses of DDT, marking the first major federal move to pull a chemical from American homes. Today, memories of chasing the fog truck on warm evenings or hearing the hiss of a can spark both nostalgia and a sense of wonder at how quickly trust in a product can fade. Who else remembers being called inside as the white mist drifted down the block? In second place, lead-based paint coated the walls and woodwork of millions of homes, gleaming with a hard, glossy finish that promised durability and easy cleaning. Trim, windowsills, and even doors often wore a bright, almost candy-like sheen, especially in houses built before 1978. Families wiped down these surfaces without a second thought, proud of the rich color and smooth touch that seemed to resist every scuff and fingerprint. For decades, lead was prized for making paint more vivid and long-lasting, a staple of modern home decor. However, as pediatricians documented rising cases of childhood lead poisoning, attention turned to the invisible dangers lurking in paint chips and dust, especially on windowsills where little hands might rest or play. In 1978, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission banned lead-based paint for residential use, marking a turning point in home safety. Many remember the faintly sweet chemical tang in the air after a fresh coat or the ritual of scrubbing sills until they shone. Did your childhood bedroom have trim that caught the sun just so, or a favorite spot for sitting by the window? Third on our list, popcorn ceilings with asbestos dotted the overhead view in countless homes, their rough, bumpy texture promising to hide every flaw and hush the echo of footsteps above. These ceilings, sprayed on by builders from the 1950s through the late 1970s, felt like the ultimate modern shortcut, covering cracks, absorbing sound, and giving rooms a finished look without the fuss of plasterwork. The secret ingredient was asbestos, prized for its fire resistance and binding power. In 1978, the U.S. banned asbestos-containing spray textures for residential use, but leftover stock and slow adoption meant many homes built into the 1980s still carried the risk. Renovation shows in the 1990s often paused mid-demo as lab tests revealed hidden asbestos, turning what seemed like a cosmetic update into a full-scale hazard response. For many, the memory is tactile, the gritty ceiling under a curious fingertip, or the way light played across the stippled surface. Did you ever lie on your back, staring up, and wonder what made the ceiling so strangely pebbled? Number 4. Lawn darts, often called jarts, brought a sense of backyard excitement with their heavy metal tips and bright plastic fins, stacked in the garage or carried out for family gatherings. The game was simple. Toss the dart underhand, aiming for a plastic ring target on the lawn. In the 1970s and 1980s, these darts were pitched as wholesome outdoor fun, a way for kids and adults to share summer afternoons. Few paused to consider the risk, until the sharp, weighted tips turned play into tragedy. Reports of severe injuries and 3 child deaths, including the heartbreaking case of Michelle Snow in 1987, led parents to testify before the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission. Their stories moved regulators to act. In October 1988, the CPSC voted to ban the sale of lawn darts in the United States, with Canada following in 1989. For many, the memory lingers. The hollow thunk of a dart sinking into grass, laughter edged with a twinge of danger, and the ritual of stacking up the rings at dusk. Who in your family was the best shot, or the one always told to stand back? Number 5. Mercury glass thermometers rested in medicine cabinets across countless homes, their slim glass bodies and silvery lines promising clinical precision with every fever check. A quick flick of the wrist sent the mercury sliding down, ready for the next reading, under a tongue, tucked in an armpit, or pressed against a forehead. For decades, this was the trusted ritual of illness, parents squinting at tiny numbers, wiping the cool glass with a cotton ball, then snapping the case shut for safekeeping. Mercury's accuracy made these thermometers a household essential, even as the dangers of broken glass and toxic spills went largely unmentioned. By the early 2000s, concern over mercury exposure led major U.S. retailers to pull these thermometers from shelves, and the Environmental Protection Agency issued strict cleanup guidelines for any breakage. The European Union followed with a full sales ban in 2011, ending new purchases across the continent. Still, many remember the gentle clink of glass, the cold touch before bedtime, and the pride of reading the numbers without help. Who in your house could shake the thermometer down with just one snap? Number 6. CCA-treated wood gave backyards and playgrounds their signature pale green look for decades. Decks, picnic tables, and swing sets built from this lumber promised to last through every season, rain or shine. The secret was chromated copper arsenate, a preservative that protected wood from rot and insects, but also left arsenic just beneath the surface. Throughout the 1980s and 90s, families gathered for summer dinners or watched children climb on these sturdy structures, rarely suspecting any risk. By the early 2000s, though, studies began to show arsenic could leach from the wood, especially onto small hands or into the soil where kids played. In 2003, after mounting evidence and public concern, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency accepted a voluntary industry agreement to end nearly all residential uses of CCA-treated wood. Commercial and industrial uses continued, but new backyard decks and playsets would no longer carry that faint chemical tang. For many, the memory remains. Splinters checked by a parent, the sun-warmed boards under bare feet, and the unmistakable greenish hue at the edge of the yard. Did your porch or playground have that telltale color that signaled summer fun and now we know a hidden hazard? Number 7. Lead-cord candle wicks sat quietly at the center of birthday cakes, dinner tables, and holiday mantles, their simple cotton threads hiding a thin metal core. These wicks promised a strong, upright flame that burned evenly, leaving behind a tiny silvery bead at the tip. For decades, lead was used to stiffen candle wicks, especially in decorative and scented candles, making them easier to light and less likely to flop into melted wax. Few suspected that each flickering flame might release invisible lead dust into the air, settling onto furniture or drifting into lungs with every breath. In 2003, after studies by the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission found that burning just one lead-wicked candle could raise indoor lead levels, the CPSC banned their manufacture and sale in the United States. The European Union moved in parallel, phasing out lead in consumer candles as part of broader restrictions. Still, the memory lingers. Warm wax pooling around the base, the scent of vanilla or pine, and the ritual of wiping black soot from candlesticks after a family meal. Whose job was it to blow out every candle before bed? And did you ever watch for that little bead at the end of a wick? 8th place, baby walkers rolled across kitchen floors and living rooms. their plastic frames circling a soft seat perched just above the ground. Parents once set babies in these wheeled rings to give them a taste of independence, letting little legs scoot and glide from room to room. In the 1980s and 90s, these walkers became a nursery staple, promising to help babies learn to walk while parents caught a moment's rest. However, hospital records began to tell a different story. Thousands of babies each year suffered injuries from falls downstairs or tipping over at high speeds. Health Canada responded in 2004, banning the sale, import, and even resale of baby walkers after decades of mounting injury data. The United States followed with stricter manufacturing standards in 2010, but stopped short of a full ban. Still, many remember the thump of little wheels on linoleum, the gleeful dash past siblings, and the scuffed toes of a new explorer. Were you an early walker with a plastic chariot, or did your family skip the craze altogether? Number 9. Dropside cribs stood in nurseries for generations, their sliding wooden rails a nightly companion for parents and babies alike. With a simple lift and slide, the front panel dropped down, making it easier to scoop up a sleepy child or settle them back in after a midnight feeding. These cribs were celebrated for saving tired backs and smoothing bedtime routines, a fixture in homes from the early 1900s through the 2000s. But as the years passed, hidden dangers emerged. Loose hardware and worn tracks could cause the rail to detach or create gaps, trapping or suffocating infants. After more than 30 infant deaths and a patchwork of recalls, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission banned the manufacture and sale of all new dropside cribs in 2011. Europe had already moved toward fixed-side designs in the 1990s, citing similar risks. Still, many remember the springy creak of the rail, the soft padding tucked in just so, and the quiet click that signaled another bedtime conquered. Who could lower the rail one-handed, barely making a sound during a midnight check? Number 10. BPA, baby bottles, and sippy cups lined kitchen counters and diaper bags for decades, their clear plastic promising shatterproof safety and easy cleanup. These bottles, often decorated with cheerful animals or pastel colors, became the standard for feeding infants and toddlers from the late 1970s onward. Their popularity soared as parents traded in heavy glass for lightweight, durable polycarbonate, never suspecting that everyday use could release bisphenol A, a chemical that mimics hormones in the body. The science behind this shift came to light in the late 1990s when Dr. Patricia Hunt's research revealed that BPA could leach from worn or heated plastics, raising concerns about potential effects on child development. Parent groups and health advocates pressed for action, and by 2011, the European Union banned BPA in baby bottles as a precaution. In the United States, the FDA responded in 2012 by revoking authorization for BPA in baby bottles and sippy cups, not because of a definitive safety ruling, but because manufacturers had already removed BPA from these products under public pressure. For many, the memory lingers. Stacks of bottles drying by the sink, the squeak of a cap twisting shut, and the faint warmth of plastic after a rinse. Did your family make the switch to glass, or do you remember the feel of those old bottles in your hand? Number 11. Corded window blinds line the windows of living rooms, bedrooms, and kitchens for decades. Their vinyl or aluminum slats were controlled by long dangling cords with stiff plastic pulls. Every morning, the ritual began with a quick tug and a satisfying click as sunlight spilled in, while the cords themselves often ended up tied in knots or looped around curtain rods for safekeeping. These blinds were a staple of home design from the 1960s through the 2010s, promising privacy and easy light control at a low cost. Yet behind this daily routine, a hidden hazard lingered. Hundreds of children suffered fatal or near-fatal strangulations after becoming entangled in the cords. Parents for Window Blind Safety, founded by families who lost children to these accidents, spent years pushing for change. In August 2022, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission made most new blinds cordless or required breakaway designs, a move echoed in Canada and the European Union. Today, the memory of cords clicking against the window frame or being carefully tucked out of reach still lingers. Could you set the slats just right by sound alone? And finally, in 12th place, crib bumpers brought a soft, quilted edge to nurseries everywhere, wrapping the inside of wooden cribs with cheerful patterns and plush padding tied neatly to each rail. Parents believed these bumpers would keep babies safe, cushioning bumps, preventing tiny arms or legs from slipping through the bars, and adding a cozy look to bedtime routines. For decades, they were a standard baby shower gift, a finishing touch that matched sheets and mobiles, and a sign of a lovingly prepared nursery. The idea made sense at the time. More padding meant more protection. But as pediatricians and researchers began tracking sleep-related infant deaths, a troubling link emerged. By 2011, the American Academy of Pediatrics strongly warned against crib bumpers, citing evidence that they posed a suffocation and strangulation risk. Still, bumpers lingered on store shelves and in catalogs for another decade. In 2022, the U.S. Congress passed the Safe Sleep for Babies Act, making it illegal to manufacture or sell padded crib bumpers nationwide. The United Kingdom and Canada had already moved to restrict or ban them years earlier. But for many American families, this was the final word. Memories of soft, puffy edges and color-coordinated sets persist. Some recall tucking fingers between the bumper and mattress, or choosing a pattern that felt just right for a new arrival. Did your crib, or a sibling's, have a bumper that matched the curtains? Or do you remember the ritual of tying and untying those little bows? From the invisible thread of DDT drifting through summer air to the soft, colorful crib bumpers now banned for safety, our journey through these 12 household hazards reveals just how much ordinary life has changed. Some entries, like lawn darts and drop-side cribs, shocked with the speed their risks turned beloved routines into urgent recalls. Across all items, a striking pattern emerged. What once felt modern, convenient, or even comforting, like mercury thermometers or popcorn ceilings, was ultimately phased out when new evidence showed hidden dangers. Each item earned its place on the list by being widely used, deeply familiar, and later removed or banned by official bodies after clear risks became impossible to ignore. Together, these hazards show that home safety is a moving target, shaped by evolving science and changing values. As we look back, it's clear that nostalgia and caution can go hand in hand. Which item surprised you the most? Share your memories below, and join us next time as we explore more of the objects that shaped our everyday lives.